Hi, this is Wayne Wagner with Visionary Wealth Management. Today we're going to talk about 4 things to do as you enter what we call the retirement red zone. This is that last 5 to 7 year period of time before you're planning to retire. This is where it's time to get some things under control, get some things figured out to get yourself ready for retirement. We tend to call it financial independence because this is the point in your life where you have made enough good decisions with your money to allow you to spend the rest of your days living off your money instead of spending every day working for your money. Okay, so 4 things real quickly. Number 1, manage your debt. This doesn't mean pay off every bit of debt, although it may mean paying off some of the debt that you have, but get it under control. Use the low interest rate environment that we're in to restructure debt to low interest payments, maybe spread it out a little bit so that you're walking into retirement with a little bit lower debt load or lower monthly cash flow needs to cover your debt. So number 1, get your debt under control and manage it well. Number 2, plan for big expenses. So this was going to include things like weddings, college, the second home, those kinds of things, but plan for those expenses. It doesn't mean you have to have every penny saved, just plan for within your financial plan how and when you're going to have the funds available to pay for those things. Okay, so plan and budget for those big ticket items. Number 3, get a budget. This doesn't mean get every penny, track every penny. I've heard people use the envelope system, and if that's for you, awesome. I've never been successful trying to track my money that closely on a monthly basis, but have a budget, know what those big ticket items are, and we always want buffer in the budget. You don't want to walk into retirement expecting that in a perfect world I have enough money, but as soon as something imperfect happens, the whole plan goes to hell in a handbasket. So have a budget, but also have a budget with buffer in it. Okay, and then lastly, 4th, plan your investments. You always want to have your investments be able to track through your investments at least 5 years worth of your needed cash flow. Now this is going to come from 3 different things. Number 1, cash on hand. I'm not suggesting 5 years of cash on hand. That would be overly conservative, but the amount of money that you have on cash on hand. Number 2, the amount of money you have in low risk investments within your portfolio, things that shouldn't be exposed to the stock market, let's say, or other kinds of risk volatility. And then number 3, the cash flow from your investments. If you have bonds, they generate interest. If you have stocks, they generate dividends. If you have other kinds of investments, they generate some kind of cash flow. What we want to be able to do is add up the cash you have on hand, the liquid, reduced or low risk investments that you have, and then number 3, 5 years of that cash flow. And we want those 3 things to add up to about 5 years worth of your expenses. Why do we use that as a benchmark? The reason we use that as a benchmark is because when the market has typically gone off a cliff, and think 2000 to 2002, 1987, 2008, 2020. When the market goes off a cliff, usually the market comes back in a little over 2 years. On average, it's about 2.5 years before the market gets back. We want to be more conservative than that. We want to plan for 5 years. So what we want is when the market goes and takes its swan dive down, we want to be able to enable you, put you in the power seat to say, hey, I'm not going to sell assets when they're at depressed prices to meet my current cash flow needs. Why? Because I already have 5 years of cash flow figured out. And so we want you to be in a position to be able to control when you're selling assets within your portfolio at what prices. And so when things go down, the market inevitably goes down through its normal volatility cycles, we want you in a position to be able to, number 1, don't sell assets at distressed prices. to meet your current cash flow needs, and number two, enable you to take advantage of those inevitable dips in the market. So if you're planning for 5 years worth of cash flow, the market takes a swan dive, maybe you can take a little bit of that excess cash flow and buy low. And if I remember right, that's what Grandmom and Grandpop said, right? Secret to success in investing was to buy low, sell high. So when the market gives us those opportunities, we want you positioned to be able to take advantage. Even though you're not earning more and contributing anymore, we still want to have a plan within your portfolio to participate and capitalize on market volatility. So those are 4 things. Get your debt under control, manage big expenses, get a budget with a buffer, and restructure your portfolio. At Visionary Wealth Management, we are always here with perspective for the decisions ahead. If we can help, please reach out anytime. Have a great day.